Yo, 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 it's Super Bowl Sunday here across the nation and here in the SBP. What's up, everybody? I'm your boy Prime Source. What is good?
Everything's good, Brian. What you mean? What's good? What wouldn't be good? You know what I mean? It's a
Everything good with
beautiful,
you?
it's a beautiful day. The birds are chirping. The sun is out. What you mean? What couldn't be good on today?
Birds chirping, fans chirping. I hadn't heard more bird talk this week than I heard in a while. People
Yeah.
letting you know, co-workers, the UPS man, the bagger at the grocery store. Everybody got a whole lot to say. It's a whole lot of chirping going on in these parts, man.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. We back. Guess who's back? Back again. Bird game back. Tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Tell a friend. How many friends you didn't told? Or they already know.
Oh, they already know. They already know. I ain't gotta tell them nothing. They call me. I ain't got to call nobody.
Yeah, I know you feeling good. I caught you a little bit on the live this morning, man. Was you bumping Philly? Because I heard some EST in there. I mean, what was this? This Philly day?
All Philly, all Philly. I just jumped in. I was because I had been to the grocery store and you know,
Mm-hmm.
kind of cleaning up a little bit because people coming over. So it was, I still had like 35, 40 minutes. I just jumped on for about 25, 30 minutes and played some joints, all Philly artists. That wasn't even my intent. Just when I logged in,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I got to play Dreams and Nightmares. And then it just went from there. And I wasn't even talking. I wasn't saying nothing. I was just playing the joints. They know what it was. They know what it was.
Wow. Not to jump off the subject, they said not anybody care. I just got an alert said that Giannis probably be out for the All Star game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I saw something about a Cavs train. Just popped up on my feed here. So
More time for Kyle Kuzma.
what a time. What a time. But yeah, man. Yeah, man. So you got folks coming through. You got folks coming over, man. What's on the menu today?
I don't know, bro. I'm out the loop. They said,
Even know.
and this wasn't even about the Eagles. This was Kelsey. Do you want to have a party? I don't care. But I think she did. So, sure. Wife, want to have a party? Oh, okay, fine. And then the Eagles won. So this was already in the works uh, prior to the NFC Championship game.
Right.
And, you know, they ordered like, you know, uh, stuff, table table tablecloths, and it's all football really. It's a whole stadium for food. It's like a stadium. You put it together, shaped like a
Right.
stadium, and yeah, I ain't never seen that jump before. So I'm just here. I know some wings and some meatballs involved. I know that.
I think we ain't really having no party, but we got some crab legs up
Oh, that is a party. What you mean?
here.
The party in itself.
Yeah, that we got some crab legs popping off, so that's what it's gonna be.
That's what's up.
That's gonna be. I don't need too much anything else. I got that. You feel me?
I hear that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So that's where it's going down. It's Super Bowl Sunday, man. Turned on the TV, the news talking about it, sports shows talking about it. Um, that's a pretty big deal, man. Pretty big deal. Match up from a couple of rematch from a couple of seasons ago, and I know you hope on your end it's gonna go a little different than it did a couple of years ago.
I mean, Bradbury ain't out there, John. So there's that.
Badbury. Where James at that anyway?
He probably the same place we are, home.
I remember somebody picked him up, didn't they? He didn't. He didn't go back
He
to.
probably was in Jacksonville somewhere. I don't know. I don't know.
One in
Don't give me the
Cleveland.
lie. I was
Same.
just glad he left.
Whole lot of people, Philly fans, are glad he left.
Remember,
Glad he up out there.
remember, what's the movie? Wife. I think I love my wife. I think I love my wife. Chris
Think I
Rock.
love my wife.
Yeah, and it was in the therapist's office, and he said, I'm just trying to appreciate the sex we're not having. Well, I'm just trying to appreciate the holding calls we're not getting, the toasted cornerbacks we're not watching, all that.
I don't know. Be careful with that, bro, because if you let the fan base tell it, it might go to the other team might be holding and it don't get called or something like that. The way the other fan base tell it, or not even other fan base, just non-Chief fans.
Yeah, them people are on it. They own it crazy. They own it more than anybody else. But they claim it's been all season. I'm not really buying into that. So it is what it is. We'll see how it goes, though.
Yeah, so they're trying to see we talking about the internet feed acting crazy, man. This YouTube acting up crazy too. I was trying to see something to our peoples that's been watching us over there lately. Get a few more people each week, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all is creeping over there and adding to the channel and all that stuff, man. We definitely appreciate that. So
I be creeping through the hood.
Wow, man. But it's a beautiful day out there, man. It's a beautiful day.
Prime, you seem excited.
Real, huh?
You seem really excited about this Super Bowl. I sense it in my spirit that you are excited about this Super Bowl.
I'm just happy. Well, I got some reasons to be, a little more upbeat, than some Super Bowls. I want to see certain things happen, in this particular Super Bowl. And also I'm just happy. Any Super Bowl, any year I can get a Super Bowl, whereas I have a reason to root for at least one of the teams. Every once in a while I get a Super Bowl that I just really don't care about. I'm going to watch it as the big Super Bowl, sports fan that I am, but there'll be some Super Bowls like, I don't know, man. Remember, was it years ago? Who we had? Was it the Bears? Who was it? The Bears and the Colts, or the Saints and the Colts?
It was the Bears and the Colts.
Bears and the. I don't dislike either team, but it just didn't move me. You feel me? Like that. Something about that Super Bowl, it just didn't move me. I think I told you a week or two ago. Remember the Super Bowl we had with the Steelers and the Cardinals?
Yeah, great game. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than the fact that I wanted the Steelers to lose, but it was just something. And I have nothing against the Arizona Cardinals. I run the Cardinals on Madden, but I don't know. That Super Bowl just didn't move me, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you mean before?
What you mean?
Before it happened.
Well, it didn't. I wasn't excited about it.
During the game, you weren't excited?
The feeling wasn't there, man. Of course, I was going to watch the game, and I was hanging out with the homie in his crib, and he was a Steelers fan. A couple of more Steelers fans came over, and some was a Jets fan. It was a couple of other fans in there, but they just didn't. It was a Washington fan in there with us.
Come on, bro.
A New England fan.
That was a great James Harrison, 100 yards.
Man, forget the Steelers.
Antonio Holmes.
Forget the Steelers, man.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Look, man, I ain't have no respect for the Steelers. Ain't like Tomlin was coaching them back then.
Dang, bro. That's tough.
What was that? Was that Bill Cowher? What? Forget him, man.
It had to be.
It ain't had, but I mean, coaches in history, so I'm
pretty 1-3.
Yeah. No, it didn't move me. It didn't move. Now I ain't gonna lie. I got a little excited when I thought Arizona, when I thought the Cardinals were gonna win. Please, James Harrison, step out of bounds. Please step out of bounds.
Man, that play was so crazy. I still say, the greatest part of that play, even though he didn't make the play, if you watch Larry Fitzgerald on that play, that man was hustling. He was bounced out of bounds twice. He was it was crazy. It was crazy.
He was definitely stepping. Yeah, there we go, YouTube. You want to act right now. Right? Act right all day. Act right during the Super Bowl. Y'all just act right. You never had a Super Bowl to come up, man, that you weren't like overly excited about, like
the Bengals and the Rams.
Really?
Yeah. It was like, okay.
I was kind of hype about the Bengals and the Rams.
It hasn't even been that many that didn't live up to the not hype, but that I didn't think was an entertaining game.
Right.
I mean, I can sell you on defense, defense, defense all day, but New England and the Rams was boring. It was. I understand it was boring, but it
But
was
you
a
didn't
good
know it
one.
was gonna be boring, right? Like before it started. It's my thing.
That joint was sleepy, but yeah. Usually I enjoy the Super Bowl, regardless of who the combatants are.
Right.
Maybe it's the liquor. It could be.
That might be what. Nah, I'm usually hyped going into most Super Bowls, man. That's all I'm saying. Like I'm hyped, looking forward to it. Doesn't matter. I mean, it's not about us not being there. I'm sure we ain't been there in forever. It's just about the game itself. But yeah, this is good. I can deal with this. I don't know if there was an AFC team. NFC, I had plenty of reasons to root against, folks. I don't know if there's an AFC team other than the Steelers, even though I don't dislike the Steelers like I did back in the day. You know, I root for Mike Tomlin. But I don't think there's a team in the AFC that could have really turned me off if they had gotten to the Super Bowl.
Mm.
You know,
Oh, this season.
This season,
Gotcha.
yeah, this season. So,
Oh yeah, I mean, it was so many good stories. There was always, I'm sure there was like you, Burrow, or even Denver,
mm-hmm.
of course Baltimore or Buffalo or the Chargers. Yeah, there was reason to be entertained, or at least there'd be a storyline for most everybody, for real.
Bobby, what's up, bro? The bridge in the house. Morning, gentlemen. Enjoy the game tonight. And I hate to say it, I have to pull for the Eagles. The main reason because of the blonde bimbo that Kelsey is dating. Did he just
Say
say?
liquor. I did say liquor. Liquor. Hey, hey, look. Here's the wild part. This this year, I just was talking about it before I came up here. I was like, ain't no beer. There's literally no beer.
Mm,
None. None. My wife said it's a Corona around the corner. There's a couple Coronas, blah blah blah.
right.
As far as I can tell, there's no beer. There's Patron. There's some Tito's. There's some. My daughter said she making a touchdown punch, Eagles touchdown punch or something. I
Okay.
forgot what it was called.
Okay.
Something she found on the internet. So yeah, but ain't no beer in sight. Far as I seen.
Yeah. You got time to change that, bro. You got time to change that. Super Bowl ain't
I ain't
far.
worried about it. I ain't worried about it.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm gonna roll with it.
All right.
If I would have went out to get anything, I would have gotten a cordon el negro. Just because I feel like celebrating, I feel like there will be a reason to celebrate. I don't know.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But yeah, man, we got a lot to get into, man. So we're gonna jump right on into this, man, and we're gonna talk about first of all how they got here. You know how we got to this point. You know, once the playoffs kicked off, we had your Philadelphia Eagles go through three opponents. The Packers. Then next up was the Rams, and of course we saw in the NFC Championship it was the Washington Commanders / Redskins, whatever they want them to be. That's who they were that day.
Football team.
The Washington football team, you know, in which y'all went out there and got busy in that game. I didn't see it happening the way it went down, but it is. How you feel about the Eagles like playoff run in general?
It's been cool, man. It's been cool. I mean, we won, so that's the key. The Packers. Well, that game was, you know, I don't know. They weren't prepared. When you start out and fumble the kickoff to start the game, you know, it's tough. Puts you in a tough spot. Set the Eagles up to score early, and they're gonna get the ball back. We're gonna get the ball back after halftime. So kind of put themselves in a tough spot. The Eagles played okay in that game. Well, I mean, the Eagles played fine. The Rams, I was not feeling that game a lot of the time because I felt like the Eagles were doing enough, but not doing a good amount, but not doing enough,
Right.
and that is the reason why. the Rams were still in the game until that last fourth down when they drove down the field because the Eagles did not play their best. Me saying this is probably pointless to anybody because I've been saying it all season for the most part until we got late into the season after the run of everybody's excited about beating bad teams. I'm like, we play all bad teams, and y'all like, oh, 5 in a row. Well, no, nobody's good. Nobody's good, so I'm not sure. And it's not a lot of convincing things. It was just wins. But then I finally had to give up the ghost at the end. I'm like, all right, bro, like we all right. We all right. We all right. Still need to play better. And you could see that. I mean, I've talked about that from last week. Because if things go even close to how they went last week, maybe in the first half, Washington wasn't in a position to come back. Right. Kansas City is always going to be in a position to come back. So you're not going to be able to leave the door open, leave the gate open, and give them the opportunity to get back into the game if the Eagles happen to jump out early.
Indeed. I couldn't have summed that up better. The Chiefs, though, we saw the Chiefs come through. They came out. They had the bye week. Of course, they were the number 1 seed. Moved on and played a game against the Houston Texans, which, of course, we saw them pull that one out. They had a very decent second half in that game.
And then we had,
put up some points. And then, of course, the Bills in the AFC Championship game. So the much talked about, the highly anticipated matchup, and the much talked about matchup for a lot of reasons. I think what I remember most about this particular, there's nothing special to me about anything that they did because, I've been of the opinion, as long as you've not been talking about it, I'm not surprised at any way they won a game, right? So close, if a blowout happens to come about, I'm not surprised about any of that. So,
right.
What I have been surprised about for these past couple of weeks, especially, and I guess you can have it both ways, depends on how you feel, but the amount of people that hated on the Chiefs because they're talking about these calls or, the calls that were called wrong or didn't go the way they said, but the same people that are mad that Josh Allen won the MVP. Like, y'all rolling with Josh one week, y'all ain't rolling the next. I know we're going to talk about the MVP stuff after that, but it's just these people been funny, man.
Yeah, just to correct myself, they scored 30 last week, 32 last week, or last game. It was 23-14, I think, against Houston.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Kansas City's done it. I mean, all season they've done whatever needed to be done to get the win. That's pretty much it. It's like, on one hand, you look at them, you're like, they haven't had to extend themselves too crazy all season for the most part. They've, not that they haven't played tough. They played tough, but they haven't necessarily played well. But even when they haven't played well, they still ended up getting a dub, and that's pretty much all that matters.
Yeah, I think, like I say, I trust them. I trust them in any particular situation.
Right.
And the one thing that we haven't really seen this year, which would be interesting if it was to go down to today's Super Bowl, because I can see some scenarios where it actually could, except for them to actually get down big. And I know against Philly, nobody wants to do that because they got you right where they want you then. They can just hand the ball off. I don't have to get fancy. Not to be a bunch of tricks. Just hand the football off and let that offensive line, which has been dominant, just take care of business.
Right.
And work that clock and continue to stack up, first downs, or at least, getting anywhere from, 4 to 7 yards on first down that's on the ground alone. But it would be an interesting scenario here today is if the Kansas City Chiefs were to get down against the Philadelphia Eagles by 2 scores at any point. And let's not even say 2 scores, because I don't know if I'm Andy Reid or a Chiefs fan, period, that I would be totally worried if it was 10 points, depending on how much time was left in the game. But if we're talking 14, things could be very interesting. Could be very interesting with the way that this Philadelphia team is made up. Any other teams in the league, I say, okay, it's just that team. But this is probably the most complete Philadelphia Eagles team that I can remember. I mean, I've been telling everybody all week, this Philadelphia Eagles team is better than the team that went to the Super Bowl. Easily. Easily, in just about every aspect of the game. So the Chiefs are not going to this thing just facing Philly. Again, the Chiefs are going to this thing facing a team that is definitely better than that team 2 years ago.
Right. I agree with that. More experience, especially Jalen, at the quarterback position, more experience, 2 more seasons under his belt. Somehow, look, these arguments about, you know, Jalen, like he's been getting slandered for the last 2 weeks. Slandered crazy for the last 2 weeks. And I kind of get it. I mean, early in the season, I definitely was on this man's scared to throw that joint. He is scared to throw the ball to a moving target. It was like if you are not wide open, he's not letting that joint go. Now, at this point, I'm okay. I'm more okay with that. Not that it's changed, totally, but I'm more okay with that. Seeing the defense for what it is, like knowing what the defense is and what the defense can do, and not putting them in situations. I get that more, but I don't feel like that was the reason he was doing it. I just feel like he was gun shy. That's just me. I don't know, but thankfully, more experienced, man, tougher. That offensive line is still manhandling people. The defensive line can get pressure with 4. Well, the defensive line could get pressure with 4 then too, actually, because that was the crazy sack season where everybody had 10 plus.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I don't know how I could have forgotten about it, but yeah, that did happen.
Yeah, I feel better about the linebackers and the secondary as a whole though. I feel, and I'm usually leery of secondaries on my squad. I'm usually like when you watch a game and it's your team and you see the other team quarterback drop back and then you see him throw the ball in that moment, are you expecting good things to happen or bad things to happen when the ball, before you see what's happening down the field, when you're just looking at the quarterback for that split second, what do you see when your team's playing? I'm not trying to be funny.
That split second,
Yeah.
I'm thinking you got to think about you talking to. Right? I'm thinking some bad.
Yeah, I know. And that's how I always am. I'm like, generally speaking, I'm always like, it's 3rd and 7. As soon as he get ready to throw it, I'm like, man, somebody wide open. I don't feel that as much this year. I feel like somebody's gonna be there. Somebody's gonna make a play, even when it doesn't happen. I feel, and even when it doesn't happen and teams move the ball, I don't feel as like worried, concerned, because it's the NFL. Teams gonna move the ball, but I feel like the Eagles, of course, the red zone defense has been crazy. So there's that, and not giving up big plays. The least big plays in the league against the Eagles. There's that. So other things are going to happen. People are going to break off a 15, 20 yarder, hit a 3rd and 9. All that stuff's going to happen to everybody. But they can't punch it in necessarily. We'll live. Bend but don't break to an extent.
Right. Yeah. You look at this team too. So you're just talking about putting the ball in the air, especially that last Super Bowl. I mean, it can actually be said, if we're just going by, the success in the air, that Jalen Hurts actually played better through the air, if we're just talking about yards at least, than Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Patrick Mahomes had even cracked 200 yards. Not that he had to,
right,
in the game, where Jalen went out there and got busy, threw for over 300 yards and got in the end zone. I think the difference is that he got in the end zone once with his arm and once with his leg. Patrick Mahomes got in the end zone 3 times with his arm, despite only throwing for like $182. But on the flip side, if you're talking about success, I mean, Brown played well. Devontae Smith had right at 100 yards receiving. They were able to move the ball against the Kansas City Chiefs, against Spags and them. So if that's any indication of what they were able to do, 2 years ago, against a Spags defense. And if I'm feeling, I'm gonna be honest with you, I got to be feeling pretty good. I got to be feeling that I can definitely move the football now. But to your point, when you were talking about what folks were saying about Jalen Hurts, this game today could go a long way to silencing everything that the people are saying. And I'm not just talking about Jalen Hurts getting a win, right? I mean, we've seen quarterbacks get a win, and we go back and sometimes we don't, take into account just how instrumental they were or they weren't doing that victory. Because I mean, let's be real, Philly's going to run the football. They are going to run the football or attempt to run it. If Kansas City has a level of success in, I'm not even going to say stopping because I don't think that's going to happen, but slowing down Saquon Barkley, and it has to fall back on the shoulders of Jalen Hurts in this game to win the Super Bowl. Man, this not would only do a whole lot for, what people are saying about him or questioning about him, but just for his legacy already.
Right.
Being going to 2 Super Bowls, beating a team that's going for 3 and being instrumental in doing it, whether it means he goes out here and throw for 3 touchdowns, or if it means he's the one that comes out here and leads the drive that actually wins the game. So Jalen Hurts has a whole lot on the line today.
Yeah. Isn't I mean I haven't looked at stats, but isn't quarterbacks losing in their first Super Bowl? Isn't that a thing? Losing in their first Super Bowl and not making it back or something like that?
It's something to that. I'm not quite like I remember exactly what it is, but I know I've seen something to that.
Right. Well, so he's beating the odds on that. So there's that. So I give him credit for that. I give him credit for making plays when plays need to be made. I think the best part or the most, all right, it's like 3 things, but one in regards to Jalen, I think in my mind, I don't know this, I feel like the safeties are going to have the Kansas City safeties are going to have to make a decision, and I feel like it's going to be a game plan decision. Either we're shooting down ASAP, or we're sitting back and not allowing the 60-yard. We might give up the 15, the 17, the 22. We're not giving up the 60. And if that is the case and the safeties sit back on that, then that's going to leave a lot of space in that short middle to, hit those quick passes. I feel like that's gotta be a game plan decision though, right? Like, don't, because we've seen it happen to everybody. The safeties get caught in the middle and Saquon is 60 yards down the field. I would much rather watch Saquon, if I'm the defense, hope that he doesn't get a chance to go 23 times, nor go 60, but he might get that 21 time.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the safety's going to sit back, but that's going to leave space for Jalen to operate a little bit. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I also think, might as well say it now, my concern is, how Jalen holds on to the rock, like I said before. I mean, when they send that extra, when they send that blitz, that extra man on 3rd and 7, is he going to let that joint go, or is he just going to take that sack? And in my mind, like, I visualize him taking the sack, just, curling up and taking the sack.
Gotta watch that blind side for sure.
Yeah, I'm concerned about that. That's what I'm concerned about as far as the Eagles' offense.
Yeah, and you think about, I'm wondering, I'm sure he does. There's no wonder. I'm sure he remembers what happened a couple of years ago when the 2 teams met. Probably one of the biggest plays of the game happened in the first half.
Come on,
I think
Brian.
it was a long turnover with your boy Nick Bolton. After the Hurts fumble, scoops it, John tried it 36 yards for the touchdown. That's which proven to be pivotal in the Kansas City victory. Because it was a tight game. With the Chiefs won at 38-35. I mean,
that was the game. That was the game.
Yep.
That was the game. Not obviously one play doesn't make the game one way or the other, totally. But the Eagles were moving the ball up and down the field when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And not only for it to be a fumble, but to be a scoop and score, that joint was demoralizing. And like I said, it was getting close to halftime. Walk that joint down the field, punch it in. Different game, man. It was a different game. I try not to
Definitely.
focus on that because that's a because he was, I mean, no, he was untouched. Nobody knocked the ball out of his hand.
It
He
was a
just dropped the
goal.
ball. It was crazy.
And watch him go streaking into the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is going to be key. I think, like I say, a victory does a whole lot for Jalen Hurts. Him being instrumental in that victory, to me, just doubles that. You know, it's gonna be a lot of things that people are not going to be able to say. They're only getting there because they're only this because of Saquon. Well, none of us know no dummies. We know what Saquon means to this team, right? You know, to the success. They're not here without Saquon Barkley. But actually going out here and doing some things. And I'm not saying Hurts go out here and throw for 300 again.
Oh
I'm
no,
telling you, that man can go out here and only throw for 250.
I don't
Right?
think he throw for
But
182.
man, but it could be, it could be 2 touchdowns behind that, like I say, it only took, Mahomes 182 yards to throw 3 in the last time they played,
Yep.
in the Super Bowl. So
Because he had to bounce out a couple of times, and especially in that second half.
make some things happen.
Yeah, he had to bounce out when it was looked like man down the field, back turn, and he just had space to buggy to get the first down on a bad ankle.
JB was good, brother.
What up, JB?
Hey man, yeah, they how you feel about these coaches though? Like, I know it might seem like an obvious question, an obvious answer, but which one of these coaches you think
Andy Reid.
the most has the most
Look,
pressure?
I don't hear the question. It don't even matter. Andy Reid is the answer. I'm sorry. You might say
You
something.
think Andy Reid has more pressure on him than Sirianni?
No.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say something positive.
Who has the well, the question could be which one has the most to gain? I don't think that's a clear-cut answer.
I can see that as well. Because Andy can be in that argument. Excuse me. Sorry, top five of them coaches, If somebody wanted to argue it, I don't know where he's ranked in people's mind right now, but
Depends on the age group you ask.
Yeah. It's a lot of things happening in these last 7, 8 years. Positive for Andy Reid. And even before that, if you look at his career, a lot of trips to that NFC Championship game, couple Super Bowl, a Super Bowl appearance. Should have been a couple let's not talk about that. But yeah, I think Andy Reid, but he can jump from wherever he is to the top 5 in my mind for some people's in some people's mind. But Sirianni can go from heel or whatever you want to say to Super Bowl champ. Like, you still can't take Doug Peterson's title run away. You can't take it away, regardless of what happened in Jacksonville or whatever else. You can't take it away. It happened. And Sirianni, not only one appearance, but the second appearance, 2 out of 3 seasons. And the same way I said about Jalen being the most winning quarterback in the moment, compared to his counterparts, you can say the same thing for Sirianni, I guess, because that's the coach.
Yeah, I would love to see where Andy Reid ranks now before today's game on a lot of people's lists, because we always measuring things by numbers. How many does he have? How many rings? How many this? If you think about it, so Belichick's out here. What do he got? 6 rings, right? Yeah, Belichick got 6. If Andy Reid were to win today, he'd tie Chuck Noll with 4, which would be right behind, Bill Belichick.
But I don't think anybody's saying Andy Reid's the second greatest coach. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. I don't think most people are saying Andy's the second greatest coach of all time, are they? I don't know, actually.
But my question would be, my first thought would be, yeah, you're probably right. Then my question would be, but Darren, who is the second best coach? What do we,
Are we not going to Bill Walsh? Or I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we could go Bill Walsh, but then again, we're going to talk about and Bill would. I mean, if you look at how he did it, Bill would definitely have to be strong consideration for number two. But Andy Reid is tied with him now.
Yeah.
So if we're just talking about numbers, we're talking about rings, and it's a lot of things. I mean, they were very similar though. So it's like if you think about it, Bill Walsh and Hall of Famers on
Right.
that team. Andy Reid's got Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers on his team. I would probably argue, as steady as the Kansas City defenses have been, I think you would ask most people, not to penalize Bill Walsh, but I think you would ask most people which defense was probably the most dominant, because there's nothing dominant about any of Kansas City's defenses. They just have been better than what people give them credit for.
Right.
Bill Walsh had some dominant defenses too, right? So I'm not saying you should penalize him, but I'm just saying.
No, you got to credit him for that.
Yeah, Joe Gibbs, Washington and Lobby here. Joe Gibbs got the same amount of rings as Bill Walsh and Andy Reid right now.
That's crazy.
It's three. So Andy Reid doesn't have to coach another game, which he's already told you he's coming back. So, but he doesn't have to coach another game, and he's first ballot Hall of Fame coach.
Easy, yeah.
Easy walk in, But what I'm saying is, a win today ties him with Chuck. So
yeah, I love it for Andy. Andy be 3 in a row.
Mm-hmm. So that would be crazy.
That 3 in a row would be crazy.
That would be beyond crazy. Sirianni is an interesting thing. JB was talking about, he says Reid has pressure to possibly label as one of the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
He also says that Sirianni could go from zero to hero. And this is not only can he go from zero to hero. You do remember, so they lose the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, the talks were there. People were ready to get rid of him already. The guys were upset about the way the season went. How many games did y'all end up losing the road towards? It was like 5,
I think it was 6.
Yeah, everything was
I think it was like
downhill.
9-1, and then it went. It was 5 out of 6 or something like that. 5 out of 6.
There was the talk about he and Jalen Hurts, which we do know there was definitely talk, because you can tell by the way that both of them answered the question in separate interviews. I mean, they were real professional about it, but they weren't on the same page. And then you have to add into the fact, he's up for a contract, right? So how does this affect him? He goes out and wins the Super Bowl. I think it's a no-brainer. Okay, it's a no-brainer. They're going to give him that contract. He gets that money. We go on. What if he loses his Super Bowl? I don't think it's automatic, bro. You done lost 2. You done got there twice, and you lost 2. You got to go. I don't know if that's where we go, but what if they lose the Super Bowl?
That would be crazy. Okay, if it wasn't Sirianni, if it was somebody else, that would be crazy. We got to the Super Bowl twice. What do y'all get? What y'all get? What y'all get? What y'all get? No, y'all ain't got nowhere. We got to the Super Bowl twice. Why y'all acting like that's a negative thing? But if you look at San Francisco and the way their fans and people react to their coaching situation as if they're supposed to be there all the time. And I've said multiple years that San Francisco had the best squad. To me, early in the season, multiple times, San Francisco got the best squad. Even when people, even last year when people were saying it was the Eagles, I was like, San Francisco is better than the Eagles. I don't know what y'all watching. But and that was when the Eagles were 8-1, 9-1, whatever it was. But Sirianni, I get it a little bit because of how last year went. Plus, you look at Sirianni and you just he does nothing. He's confident. Don't get me wrong about him, but nothing about him strikes me as a leader of men necessarily. So
just me.
I'm like, getting to the Super Bowl twice is crazy. And if like that goes back to talking about Jalen. People talking crazy about Jalen Hurts. He's been to the Super Bowl 2 out of 3 years. He's only been starting 4 seasons. He's been to the Super Bowl 2 out of 3, or 2 out of 4 if you want to count the first one.
Right.
That's nothing to sneeze at. And then, as I say that, I think of Brock Purdy. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, the thing to watch would be, so if the Eagles lose the Super Bowl today, is it the way they lose? Maybe like if it's we got a good game like we had, 2 years ago, back when that Super Bowl 57, and it goes down that way if the Eagles were to lose. Okay. Me personally, I'm probably still giving this guy a contract. We might be able to discuss the numbers on it might be a little different. The contract might be 3 instead of 5. I mean, something I don't know. But if it comes down to a situation where Sirianni makes a bad decision, because I think we both feel like, just like we've watched both of these teams throughout the season, and we've watched both of these teams during the playoffs, it's going to be a whole lot of going for it in this one. If the situation presents itself, these 4th-and-1s, we might even get a 4th-and-2, depending on the situation. It's going to be some going for it.
Right.
But if there's a situation, if you're going for 2 when you shouldn't have gone for it or something like that, if he makes a bad decision, are we back in the same place that we were at the end of last season? How's Jeffrey Lurie feeling about that?
I don't think we can get back. The only way we get back to the end of last season is if the Eagles get beat 50-0. There's no way to get back to the end of last season. The end of last season was terrible. Terrible. Like, it was nothing. There's nothing that's comparable to the way you can't start out great and then fall all the way off the map. Coming off a Super Bowl. So you're coming off a Super Bowl, start out great, fall all the way off the map, get smacked in the playoffs by Tampa Bay, and have a shaky looking off season. I don't think we can get back to that. Like, that's a quite a fall from a Super Bowl to what happened last off season.
Checking the chat, JB said that if the Eagles get blown out, it might be a chance for them to get fired. Well, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's the only
that's different.
The only way. And not to mention, the blame is going to go on Jalen Hurts regardless. It don't even matter if the Eagles lose and Jalen Hurts doesn't play, like if he doesn't play spectacular, if his numbers don't look great, and the Eagles lose, then it's going to be, see, Jalen Hurts, blah blah blah. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be blamed on Sirianni, but I could see how it could be.
Yeah, I think Hurts is going to be fired up. I was watching an interview this morning with him and Cam Newton, and Cam was talking to him about what's driving him, what could be different this time and things of that nature. And he told Cam, and he was like, said so many words, not trying to spite you or no disrespect, but I felt what you felt, going to the Super Bowl and coming up short and losing and wondering what else you could have done. Especially at a time when you should have feel like you should have won the football game. So he says, that's fueling him more than anything else. Not to let this one go. So he's put it out there. He's got to get out there and perform now.
Yeah. And it's always easier when you got the baddest man in the game back there with you.
For sure. What So it's history being made, bro. History being made. So this be the 4th rematch in the Super Bowl in NFL history. Do you remember what the other 3 were?
Dallas and Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
well, it is. Do you remember the quarterbacks?
Bradshaw and Staubach.
Yep. One of them is more recent.
One of the
a lot more.
Oh
recent.
yeah. Shoot. Dang. Kansas City, San Francisco.
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
Wait, what? We're talking. Oh, are we talking back to
I'm
back?
sorry. I'm sorry. The quarterback. So we're talking quarterbacks.
Oh,
So
okay.
you include whether it was the same quarterback.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see.
That's my bad. I didn't make that clear.
All right, now I got to think. Does this one count?
So this is the fourth. So what were the other three? So you
Okay.
did get Bradshaw and Staubach. There's
Um.
one that's a little more recent. We're not talking recent, like
Oh
in
man.
3 years.
Brady and Manning.
And there's one more. This one easy for me.
It's easy for you.
Mm-hmm.
Aikman and Jim Kelly.
Yep. Aikman and Jim Kelly. Yep. So the fourth time in history that there's been a rematch in the same quarterbacks facing each other. So,
Wow. I was thinking teams at first. Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
yeah, I didn't make it clear on that, but I thought that was really interesting. I was thinking about that right when we got to the right after the championship games, and I never went back to it. And then I was scrolling through, and I saw Adam Schefter had posted it on Twitter, and I said, "Dang, I was just thinking about that." About a week ago, right after the championship game. So that's a good stat to know.
That is good. I might use that if I do some trivia this afternoon. I might have to use that joint.
Got something else for you, though. It's not really so much it's guessing joint, but we're talking about history in the National Football League. And we understand that Kansas City is here going for that three-peat, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see the most recent three-peats. I'm going to let you know what they were. And I'm going to say in the 5 major sports, not the 4, because I don't care what any of y'all tell me. One of these is a major sport.
Yeah.
You can tell me different. All right. So we can go back to the 60s, right?
Whoa.
You got the Packers.
Okay.
The 65 through the 67 season. Green Bay Packers. Of course, that was a different era, but still.
Mm-hmm.
They recognized them as getting championships from 65 through 67.
Right.
We can go to the 80s. The New York Islanders. For you hockey fans out there, 80 through 83 seasons.
Well, dang. And you said this is the last 5?
The most recent, in the major sports.
Okay.
There may be some more that I haven't dug up, and I had to go back and look, but I just went back by year. So
I got 2 of the other 3, but I can't think of the third one.
So would the Houston Comets be on your list?
Yeah.
Major sport, folks.
Yeah.
Let's be with the BS. And we know they did a 4-peat actually.
Mm-hmm. True.
So we got 97 through the 2000 season. That
Crazy.
went down.
That was a squad.
Did you get this one though? Oh, that was definitely a squad. That's a squad beyond a squad.
You know the other one I got.
One is easy for you.
Yeah.
Right. One of them is easy for you, which will be the last one. But the one, if we're talking about years, there's one just before.
Oh, of course. And it's 2 of them.
So the one that always comes to mind for me, of course, would be the Yankees, the New York Yankees, in 98 through 2000 seasons. And then I have the Lakers, LA Lakers, the 2000 through the 2002 season.
Did we skip somebody?
Did we? Let me know. This is what I came up with.
Oh, yeah, they did it twice.
Who are we talking about?
The Bulls?
I forget the Bulls, man. I ain't thinking, man, anybody come to see them, Otis.
Hey, look, I won't think about them either. That's the thing. I wasn't thinking about.
I ain't gonna lie, I did forget, but there's a reason I forgot. Forget the Bulls.
Yeah, understood.
Michael Jordan, forget the Bulls, man.
Yeah, right? Agreed.
So, yeah, that's different.
Yeah, that's different.
Man, so a lot of history on the line today. Let's get to the keys, man. Let's get to the keys of the game, man. And I'll start with your Philadelphia Eagles. All right. I feel like Philadelphia Eagles need to come out and see what type of look that Spags is going to give him. Because I have a feeling that Spags is going to give him a couple of different looks. I think he has a game plan, which you kind of touched on earlier, but I think there's also a counter to that game plan, right? It's got to let it hang. But I think the Eagles have to come out, study closely on what Spags is trying to do, and then to try to attack what he's doing at that time. If you've watched the Kansas City Chiefs any of this season and paid attention to their defense, and they've come up big in a lot of spots, but it's one place that they've had problems.
Yeah.
All right, when teams are running the football, if you really want to get them backpedaling, have been the teams that are able to run the football when they're basically not huddling. Like they're almost going no huddle, or is it quicker, and they're going right back at it. The Chiefs' defenses have had problems adjusting, making those adjustments on drives. And if Spags, if Sirianni and those guys and Kellen Moore and those guys get into that mode where they're not huddling, it's going to be a problem for that Kansas City defense, right? Hands up, straight up and down. Defensively, if this is a tight game, which a lot of us think it could be a tight game, if this is a tight game, you got to watch the formations that Andy Reid and them are going to give you. Because they get into that 12 personnel, I can see crazy stuff happening today. And when they bringing out that extra tight end, sometimes you might see 3 tight ends. Keep your eyes open, because as good as Philly's defense has been, especially the young corners, I see something crazy happening here, bro. I'm telling you, this is the Super Bowl. They get out here, we might get a tight end to tight end touchdown. I'm telling you right now, a tight end to tight end. This is going to be crazy. So they have to keep their eyes open on that back end. And just stay stout throughout the game. Because remember when they played you guys a couple of years ago, looked pretty good against Mahomes in the first half. Second half, when we were talking about the Eagles moving the ball, Mahomes was moving that rock in the second half. 15 first downs in the second half of the last time they played you guys in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So they just got to stay stout with their defense. But yeah, they just got to watch them. They got to watch those formations that Andy Reid is going to throw out there, and do not get fooled, because we know that you can just take one play, one thing could decide this whole game. So that's it for Philly. What you got?
For Philly, the keys. The keys is Jalen Hurts taking care of the ball and not taking untimely sacks. I feel like everybody can get open. I know McDuffie, I get it. Defense, secondary, I understand. But for me, the guy is going to be Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert is going to be the guy, especially if Kansas City does what I'm thinking they're going to do, and those safeties are a little further, either starting out a little further back or just not coming downhill as quickly. There's going to be some space in there for Dallas Goedert to eat a little bit. He's gonna get some work. He's gonna get some work. And of course, we know third and whatever, that blitz is coming from Kansas City, so it's gonna have to be a quick hitter. And I think Goddard might be a part of that on the offensive side for the Eagles. Defensively, the key is not, well, the same key. I'm not even going to tell, you know what? I might as well say it now. The same thing that you just said about the Eagles offense doing to Kansas City is the concern for the Eagles defense against Kansas City. No huddle, keeping the same people on the field, staying out there. That is where the Eagles kind of run into issues, if anything, because the rush, I mean, I guess it's normal. The rush is going to slow down, but the Eagles seem to have a really hard time. We saw that specifically with Stafford and the Rams when they were going hurry up. It's not even hurry up. It's just no substitutions, no huddle. So the defense is stuck out there. So you just got to rock with it or call a timeout. That's your only choices. So I'm more concerned about Kansas City doing that to the Eagles than the Eagles doing that to Kansas City. But my young corners, I'm not worried about them. But as soon as you said formations and all that, you know what I saw?
What's that?
Back to back touchdowns off the receiver motion and crossing, and the corners getting confused. And I know that had probably been drilled into people's brains over the past 2 weeks. It has to be. It has to be.
Oh, no question.
So I don't want to see that. Obviously, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna see Mahomes catch one. I'm telling you, I'm serious about this tight end to tight end thing. We sitting there tripping, mess around, and your boy Kelsey throwing that jump to Noah Gray or vice versa. I'm telling you, watch it. The Kansas City will milk you to sleep. They'll get out there and they'll get in that, that 12 personnel or whatever, and it results in a totally different trick play, which they're cool with it working, but they really setting you up for something later.
Mm-hmm.
Or they getting that same formation a couple of times, and Pacheco or Hunt's actually getting the rock, and later in the game, late third quarter, fourth quarter, somewhere in there, it looks like the same formation, and all of a sudden, somebody is getting the ball and throwing it to somebody. I'm telling you, that's the genius of the Andy Reid offense. They're cool with the play working at first, but their bigger thought is, I'm gonna catch you with this later.
Mm-hmm.
My people just got to catch the rock. So
Yeah.
definitely have to watch that. On the Kansas City side, that's what they got to do. That's what they got to do. Do that, get their guys involved. We know the ability of Kansas City to get out there and score 3 touchdowns with 3 different people. With one of them being somebody that you ain't heard from since week 9, and we understand how that works with them, and they're totally fine with operating that way. So Kansas City's just got to get out there and do what they do. They got to put those formations up there and let it fly. But defensively, look, it's a no-brainer. You got to attempt to slow down Saquon Barkley, man. This man with 20 TDs, I think 20 TDs rushing. I saw something the other day that said that this man is averaging on his touchdowns, I think like 32 yards. That's it. So they got to get out there, fill those lanes, and they got to tackle. Now, granted, that means that those corners and stuff going to have to play football. Trent McDuffie, one of the best in the game. We saw him give up one in the AFC Championship game, but I ain't mad with it because he had good position. That was just a heck of a catch that he got scored on, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to go out there and he's going to have his hands full. How many times is that going to be? Is that going to be Devontae Smith, or how many times is that going to be AJ Brown? Right. So they're going to have to get out there. Stack the box if need be, rely on the one-on-one. But again, you made the key point about Dallas Goedert. And I've been talking about Dallas Goedert the entire playoffs. That is the one guy they better have somebody to try to match up on to at least slow him down, right? But Spags, Spags will get out there and do his thing, man. You think about it. He's never allowed a 100-yard rusher. We had a couple of people that, that made it to the 80s. James Cook made it to the 80s. We had Mixon, get some yards. If you go back to remember when they played Derrick Henry in them years ago, I think Derrick Henry had 69, 70 yards, something like that. So I'm not saying that you have to hold Saquon to 80 yards. This might be the time that the dam breaks. You feel me? But if that's to happen, knowing that it's the Philadelphia Eagles with that dominant offensive line and it's Saquon Barkley, if the dam breaks and you give up 120, okay, that's cool, right? You just can't give up that 160, that 170, that 200. So it's got to stay disciplined, fill those gaps, don't overplay it, and they got to tackle.
Fair. I think the Kansas City offense has to stay out of long situations. And I know they're not going to, I don't want to say they're not going to be able to run the ball, but they're going to have a hard time running the ball. They're going to have a hard time running the ball. So you're going to see, well, I would suspect you see a lot of Worthy. We're not worthy. A lot of Worthy getting the rock in space, trying to create, those type of yards that they would expect from the running game on a normal basis. And you can't let Mahomes get beat up too much. He's not gonna hobble down the field like that's not gonna happen again. He's not going to
You
hobble down
sure?
the field a
Mahomes,
second
man.
time. If the Eagles are able to create pressure with 4, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. So protect Mahomes and be able to muster up those yards some type of way if you're not going to be able to do it through the running game.
JB said KC needs to be effective on the screen plays for sure. Quick
Yep.
slants to adjust to the Eagles' defensive line. Yeah, Worthy, and Hollywood Brown will be major in that department. And we talk about the screen plays as we saw in the last game, as far as not so much just the screens, but just getting the ball out to the backs. We saw Samaje Perine have a big play that virtually it pretty much sealed that game
Yep.
against Buffalo. So, we're always talking about Hunt and Pacheco, but, there's going to always be that guy
True.
that, for them that's going to make that play. We might have a crazy day today. Like you might be, look, the Chiefs scored 3 touchdowns, and the touchdown scores Noah Gray, Justin Watson, and Samaje Perine. You know what I'm saying? Worthy, Brown, or Kelsey don't even touch the end zone. So that's just the Chiefs for you.
Oh, and defensively,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I kind of already said it earlier. Not allowed a big play, and they're gonna have to try to make the Eagles have to drive the ball up the field as opposed to be able to get that one hitter quitter. So if that calls for the safeties not coming downhill so quickly, then that's just what it got to be. You give up that 12 to 15, 15 to 18, as opposed to 40 to 60 multiple times.
So it's funny, and I was just we were talking about the backs, and I haven't looked up on the screen right now, and I didn't even, all the backs I named that Spags his face, I didn't just think about this last year. And it was showing McCaffrey running the ball. Like, McCaffrey had 80 yards. They were able to have some type of containment. So,
yep.
It's going to be good. Very interesting. All right, so time to pick them. It's time to pick them, man. And I mean, I think we know who you're going with. You know what I'm saying? But what do you hope go down, or you think is going to go down, and what's your score?
All right, so I'm thinking. Well, you already mentioned it's going to be a lot of 4th down. It's going to be a lot of tough conversions. I think it's going to be a lot of tough conversions. 3rd and 4th down joints, longer conversions going to be necessary. I don't even no need to go to if. 37-23. 37-23, Bird Gang. Philly handles these people, and Mahomes looks pedestrian at best. And yeah, it's Bird Gang season. It's what it is, Prime. 37.
If it go that way and y'all do my boy, I ain't enough for you, dog. Listen, you've been spoken to existence. Man. You can't do nothing.
Well, Prime, you can't now remember Tampa Bay and Kansas City.
Yeah.
I said they were gonna beat the brakes off the people.
You did.
And I don't feel confident like that. Like I felt that like for real. But I mean 37-23, the Eagles winning by double digits has been in my mind for a few days, probably for the whole week. So I'm running with it, 37-23.
Whew. Man, I don't know how to feel about this game. I mentioned at the beginning of this show, Eagles are just that good, way better than the team that went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. The way they rejuvenated their defense, that offensive line, spectacular. Of course, Saquon. It's just, and the guys are hungry, man. The guys that were there last time that are still on this team are hungry. Kansas City has a chance to make history. And it's hard for me to still even to bet against them no matter what the odds. I don't care if they would have came and made it to the Super Bowl averaging 12 points a game some kind of way. It's just something to be said about those veterans on that team, man. Those of course, Patrick and Kelsey, but you got, the the Chris Joneses, man. Like guys who played in the Super Bowl before, like a Nick Bolton. Like it's just hard. It's just hard. Spags. Spags has done it all, man. What Spags is going for what? I believe it's be Spags' fifth ring. Because he's with the Giants too. But Spags has seen it all. He's not dominant, but he knows how to, as you mentioned, for the ABC Championship game, dials up stuff at the right time. They give up some points or some yards, but he's calling stuff at the right time, and the team stays in it. I just don't know. But my guy Mahomes, man, when we were talking about history, he's going against Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio doesn't have success with Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is 8-0 when he's facing a Vic Fangio team, whether it was him as a head coach with the Broncos or his time where he is with Philadelphia. So, Andy and Pat have his number. So, I'm going to stick with him. Not that you didn't think that I wasn't going to do it anyway.
Right. Of course.
But I gotta stick with him, man. I gotta stick with him. The score is funny because I can easily see this being we're expecting points to be put up, and we're still sitting there going into the fourth quarter at 20-17.
Yeah.
Or this is the Super Bowl. We've seen stranger things happen where folks have started to put up points. Chiefs have been putting up 30 that many times, but I just think it's a chance that they put up 30 today. I just think, it's time to shine. There's plays to be made out there. I don't care if they go into the halftime with 10 points. There's plays to be made out there, man. So I'm going to roll with the Kansas City Chiefs. Surprise, surprise in this one. And believe it or not, Source, I'm going to feel bad if they do to an extent because I think it's a great story what Saquon has done. And then if you watch his interviews, man, he's even more of a likable person than you would probably think. All he's been through. But I'm rolling with Kansas City and the boys, Patrick Mahomes and them. I don't know if it's going to be a dramatic late drive or how this thing pours, but JB got 31-27 for the Eagles. I am going to go that exact same score with the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid will make history. Much to the chagrin of a lot of
people. Of me.
Well, at least you understandable, bro. Like it's your squad.
Right.
Man, your squad. You've been there, What I'm just saying is just for the folks that's out here don't want them to win just because they're supposed to be the refs favoring them or whatever. Or they tired of seeing them.
Right.
35% of y'all tired of seeing them, don't watch anything but 3 games during the regular season and then the Super Bowl. Because somebody bringing your favorite dip and some beer.
That's it.
I'm not even falling into that mess with y'all, man. For real, I'm definitely not. Hopefully we get a good game regardless of what goes down.
I don't care if it's a good game or not, as long as the Eagles end up on top. That's it.
You how you think this Super Bowl halftime show gonna go down?
Kendrick's gonna take the stage, and he's gonna start with the man at the Garden. He's gonna say, "I deserve it all," and then he gonna do a part of that, and then he gonna say, "I deserve it all," and the music gonna drop out. I don't know what's gonna happen after that.
People speculating that Taylor Swift gonna hit the stage,
which would be. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that. I can't see it happening, but I wouldn't be mad at that. It's Kendrick. It's Black History Month. It's the last time for Jay-Z. Well, as far as we know, with the contract with the NFL.
Oh, you better enjoy this because we ain't getting nothing but country music the next 5 years after this.
Yeah, this ain't gonna be nothing but.
No disrespect to country.
I can't even name nobody.
No disrespect. I'm cool with it. It's the people I rock with. I'm just telling you what's gonna happen.
Yeah. That's what we would suspect. I'd lean more to Beyonce than Taylor Swift, for real. If somebody was coming out there of that,
bring Wayne out
of fame. What now? Wayne ain't coming out.
He ain't bringing Wayne out.
He ain't bringing Wayne out. Drake definitely ain't coming out unless
I was going to
somebody.
say that would be the surprise. Like, what if he brought out Drake so he
Hopefully,
can squash the beef?
hopefully Drake is still in Australia, uh, with them boots on. Did you see the picture of him with them boots on?
Nah.
Oh
No,
my!
somebody was. They were talking about it on Twitter though. I didn't see him.
I was like, what is happening? What is? I'm good. All right, I ain't gonna feed into it. Like Kanye, I ain't even gonna feed into it. I don't even want to know nothing about it. Just let it be. Let it be. But anyway, yeah, he's starting out with Man in the Garden. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna. Like I feel maybe a hologram. I'm not a big hologram guy, but maybe hologram of Luther, and that's how SZA ends up on the stage. Um,
Number two,
I don't know if SZA's going. I don't know if SZA does like a song or anything like that. It's not like, I mean, it's time, but it's not that much time.
They get 13 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, between 11 and 13 minutes. I can't remember
Mhm.
exactly what Dre and them had said.
Right.
But I would love, I would, I would love to see somebody. I don't care who it is. Somebody older. Like it's not gonna be Ice Cube because him and Ice Cube, like I don't know if they have like actual friction, but they have back and forth. Like Kendrick pretty much squashed Ice Cube's album drop uh, that a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't expect Ice Cube, but that would be tough. That would be tough. Until recent, I could have argued Snoop, but we've seen Snoop recently, so there's no need for Snoop to pop back up.
He was just on the awards the other night too. You see him?
Not yeah, I saw him on NFL joints.
Mm-hmm.
Not Like Us is happening. Whether it's a cappella, just the crowd saying A minor, that's happening. It's happening one way or the other. Where look, it could not be part of the set. The crowd just gonna jump in and say A minor together. That's happening one way or the other. I am curious to see what else he does though, because is it going to be more G and X or is it going to be catalog? Because people act like Kendrick's catalog ain't crazy, and it's every time I do a Kendrick set, people be like, "Man, I forgot Kendrick had this many joints." Yeah, he
Yeah.
got crazy joints. Um, so it'll be interesting. But Man at the Garden started out um, the Luther joint with SZA and Not Like Us are happening.
Indeed, it ought to be a good one, man. It all. Hey, did you see Andy Reid when he was naming like the three greatest rappers? I love Andy Reid, man. Andy
He
Reid
was,
fun.
I forgot who he said at first, but he was all right with the first answer.
Yeah, it was who was it? I know he threw Lil Wayne. It was it Jay Z, Lil Wayne?
I think Jay Z was the first person, and
Was
then
it
he
Jay
said
Z?
the
Somebody and
fat.
then Lil Wayne?
Did he say the Fat Boys? Oh, that was somebody else that said the Fat
Or
Boys.
did he say mention something first and then went into those three? There was somebody interviewed that said something about the Fat Boys.
Okay, there was somebody else.
I don't remember. I don't remember if it was Andy Reid or not. Pre before he got into actually named them, that he just like, oh, the Fat Boys. He's like, nah, and started naming. But there was somebody that I do remember in the past week or so they were talking to, and it did say something about the Fat Boys in the
Yeah,
conversation. Andy Reid, that dude, man. Andy
I'm
Reid.
excited. I'm excited. I'm excited about that. I and I'm gonna have to, respectfully to Kobe, all love to Kobe. I'm gonna have to Kobe compartmentalize between the end of the second quarter and the halftime show, and then after the halftime show, because depending on how the game going, ain't no telling how I'm gonna be feeling.
And that
And it's gonna
Don
be other
Julio.
people here, and other people and me and the Eagles in the Super Bowl. It's not necessarily. I might turn into Martin. Get out, everybody out. I don't know.
Yeah, they talking about. I'm wondering what kind of bets they got. I'm about to look them up on his choice of songs, Kendrick's choice of songs.
I, I
Remember
saw
we were
the
talking about that before. Remember when what's the name? I was there. We were talking about it. Was it last year? We were talking about what songs were gonna be sung, whatever. But there's some stuff out there. I'm looking at one joint now. Of course, they was talking about the most streamed songs like "Humble," "All the Stars," of course, "Money Trees," "Not Like Us," "Pray for Me."
Only thing I saw
That would
was,
be that means the weekend could pop up, right? If they put the pre from me joint.
and the weekend has a new album that just
Uh huh.
dropped or is getting ready to drop.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Love.
all right, all right needs to be in the set.
Yes, without a doubt.
No, all right, especially right now, especially right now. All right, need to be in the set.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Um,
especially with certain dude of high importance, I guess it's gonna be there. Yeah. So
no comment. But yeah, yeah, I'm with you. But the only thing you were looking at the list of songs, the only thing I saw was the odds on guest appearances, and I saw Lil Wayne, Drake. Drake had high odds, like he had crazy odds compared to everybody else. And then I think it was Lil Wayne, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Future, and somebody else of people that it could be.
if they
Oh, one other
well,
thing. He there will be a yelling of mustard.
think so.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got mustard. Got you.
They how they always pan to Taylor Swift. I wonder if somebody's smart enough to try to pan to her suite or whatever just before the halftime show to see if she's missing.
Well, see, it's got well,
Yeah,
that
because
would
he
that
got
would
the
be
bad
fun.
what's the joint? The bad blood joint or whatever.
Hmm. I
Yeah,
was thinking it would have to be planned for them to not do that. But if it is, that means more people know, and the more people know, the more likely it is to get out. So who knows?
go to Twitter before it even happens, and then Taylor Swift she's missing from her suite. You know what I'm saying? She,
Somebody backstage.
she
I saw
missing
Taylor
right there
Swift.
beside Caitlin Clark. I wonder if Caitlin gonna be. I was watching. Something the other day with Caitlin Clark when it was an interview, and they
Yeah.
got to me asked her was she gonna be at the Super Bowl, and she said that she didn't give a clear answer. She was like, kind of like, I don't know, maybe I don't know if I'm. And I'm like, I'm one of that means, yeah, she going.
Oh, I maybe I saw the same thing. Maybe I saw something different. In my mind, I thought she said she was gonna be in front of her TV. But
Now she may have on a different interview, but I remember I saw something. She didn't give a clear answer.
okay,
It was almost like maybe not, I haven't decided something, something, something. So I'm like, you haven't decided. So that already means that you already been invited.
right, and
So
yeah,
it's all good.
and I could just not remember what Caitlin Clark said because yeah, that's a possibility in this particular situation.
No doubt, no doubt. So hopefully it's going to be a great game, man. It's a great game. Give it to us, man. We get a great Super Bowl
Mm-hmm.
halftime show as well. Couple of quick things, man, before we get out of here. We got to talk about the Josh Allen MVP situation because people are heated. People are heated that he beat out Lamar for the most valuable player, and I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the guy that called it because I didn't call it. To be honest with you, remember I just said that's who I would give it to.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's I would give it to. No disrespect to Lamar. Y'all know my reasons, man. Y'all know my reasons. But your thoughts now that this has happened.
about week 11, 12, 12, 13, I was like, man, it's Josh Allen. It's Josh Allen. Blah blah blah. And somebody, my man Dominique, shout out to Dominique, he was vehemently against that. He had a whole post talking about how Lamar should win it. And at that time, Buffalo only had 2 losses, maybe 2 losses at that time.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, it's. I mean, if we're talking MVP and we're taking everything into account and we look at the whole field, I get it. Whether you want to argue Lamar, and here's the thing that's bothering me about people. I shouldn't because it's people. Regardless of which one got it, it's gonna be okay. Like it
it's
wasn't
gonna be all
that
right.
it wasn't that crazy of a decision. It wasn't like, oh my God, this is so disrespectful. Disrespectful is old boy that put Lamar fourth. That was disrespectful. You know somebody had him fourth, right?
What you say?
You know
Somebody?
somebody had Lamar fourth in the voting.
Yeah, I saw that. Who?
That was disrespectful.
Who?
But it being Josh over Lamar, I'm less inclined to believe that was disrespectful. Now, if y'all want to argue, then people do them, but I I can understand it, but I'm not seeing it in this particular situation because Josh had numbers and he had a lesser offense, and you gotta account for that, right? We gotta account for that
Yeah, look.
because it's most valuable.
Yeah, and this is the thing. You mentioned numbers. What I really feel like is a lot of people who are, outraged about this don't really realize how close the numbers ended up being,
Mm-hmm.
if all things considered. This is we know Lamar had a crazy historic season, like monster. Because you remember I said when we were talking, I was like, you and I were talking weeks ago, and I said, what's really crazy is we could take out Lamar's crazy season, something we may never see again from a quarterback, and put up what Josh Allen has done. And this is really before the season was even over.
Mm-hmm.
And look at his season and say, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Maybe not in the aspect of what we saw with Lamar, but it's still crazy. But I feel like a lot of people didn't really look at the numbers at the end of the season. So here we go. Obviously, if you're going to go by numbers, you look at the yards, right? Okay, we're talking 8,000 more total yards. Oh,
800, yeah.
800, 800 more yards. You can't argue that. But look at the total touchdowns, bro. A difference of 4. 41 for Josh Allen, 45 for Lamar. Interceptions, both of them, the numbers came way down. 6 and 4. Definitely Lamar is a better passer rating at 119. Nothing shabby about 101, though, right?
Right.
And then we look at the overall record, 13 and 4 and 12 and 5. We can't include playoffs in this because we can talk about, wins and losses, but still. So to me, I'm happy that Josh Allen won, but I'm also disappointed that Lamar lost. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just one of those things.
Yep.
And if the argument that I had been giving beforehand, and then you're just talking about it now, if we're going to talk about the argument about who, meant more to the team's success, I'm not going to argue with anybody and say that the Ravens would have still been 12 and 5 with another quarterback. Now, that's foolish, right? That's foolish for me to say that. But ain't none of y'all going to tell me that these people going 13 and 4 with another quarterback. Not that Buffalo Bills squad. Not those receivers. Y'all ain't know who Mac Hollins was until those two catches last
2
week.
weeks ago, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all won't holler Mac Hollins. Y'all just remember that Stephon Diggs is down in Houston now. That's what y'all remember. So
It's true.
It's
true.
James Cook, phenomenal year, great year for James Cook. He definitely was his best joint of the season, right? But cuz he ain't Derrick Henry. All right. So not to penalize Lamar. It's just not that outlandish that Josh Allen is our MVP, man.
Agreed. I think at the end of the season, I would have given it to Lamar, but it was close enough that I get it. I mean, I understand.
Yeah. I get it. So feel badly for Lamar, though, definitely. But hey, it's just not that crazy.
Oh, and I definitely don't like the idea, not that this isn't a thing, this is a thing. I don't like the fact that people may have voted, well, Lamar got 2 already. What they got to do with anything? If you think, if Lamar had a better season, then that's what you think. Then, more MVP season, then vote for Lamar. Ain't no he going to have 3 and Josh going to have 0. Don't nobody care about that. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
The man West said, did Lamar have the best numbers in 23 when he won?
I think what was the difference in the record? Because the conversation was Lamar had the best uh what best record on the best team, or the best, the best player on the best team, or whatever it
Mhm.
was for the regular season. So that argument has been made, but I also get the fact that Lamar's numbers are ridiculous right here. These numbers right here are crazy.
Yeah, they are crazy.
His numbers are crazy. And if you even if you even take the moment to be like, remember these people, like if you are a person that thinks back to remember these people literally said this man should be a running back or a wide receiver
Yeah.
in the NFL. They said dog. that's that's nuts, yo. That's nuts.
Let's see what we got here. So here's the voting from that year.
From 23.
Yeah. So it was Lamar. Yeah, he Lamar, Dak, McCaffrey, and Brock Purdy got in there. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and C.J. Stroud.
So why people act like he stole it from Josh Allen
Yeah,
previously?
he won
And
that.
I remember
Lamar won
arguing
that joint
that.
by a landslide. That's crazy. I had to go back and look it up, and I remember now. Tyreek was in the voting.
Yeah.
Interesting race. That's a great point by West there. Um, I think you need to. JB says, I think you need to look at the supporting cast of each squad. Exactly. You know, I don't think it's always fair to penalize players. I've said it several times on this show based on what they have, but you got to take that in consideration. You know, we're not
Right.
talking about having the best player in one game. We're talking about, having the best player or the best players on your squad for an entire season. And there's no way, like there's no way. You know, if forget Kansas City, if you would have told people that this team was going to come out there and be the 2 seed before the season started, people won't seeing that.
At all.
People, you won't seeing that. Who? They might make a wild card, maybe. No.
Josh Allen's overrated.
So, Josh is the guy. Josh takes home the trophy and the hardware and just adds to, in many people's eyes, the conspiracy about what the NFL wants. They want this team to win. They want this. They want who they want to win that. This is just. That's all you got to call Scully and Mulder, man. Wish I had the X-Files theme.
Rizzoli and Owls.
Call them.
Cagney and Lacey.
No doubt. Only other thing I got, man, and I really don't have as much as I thought I was going to have because some things didn't shake out the way I want. But you got any thoughts on anything you want to mention on the what we just saw at the NBA trade deadline?
I would normally. I'm stuck on the Super Bowl, but I like the way Jimmy looked. I didn't watch the game or anything, but I like the way Jimmy looked in the highlights yesterday. But you never know. You never know with Jimmy. You never know. So hopefully he remains that, but you never know. That's why Steph said, yeah, man. It looks like it could be something, Luka.
He's supposed to debut tomorrow, right?
I thought it was supposed to be yesterday. Until yesterday. I didn't realize he wasn't playing. I thought he was still supposed to play yesterday. I won't be mad at tomorrow though. Luka and LeBron.
Whenever you guys play again, is it Monday or Tuesday? Whenever I thought I saw Reddit come out a couple of days ago and said the most likely would be whatever your first game is this coming week.
Okay.
Monday or Tuesday, whenever y'all play.
I won't be mad at that. And it might be because LeBron was out. Even if that was even a conversation for Saturday. But LeBron was out. And Austin Reeves went crazy for 45. But man, I can't. I'm just excited. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it. Now this whole Mark Williams thing has fallen through.
Oh, yeah, so it's gotten rescinded.
So I don't know what that really is going to mean. It mean he ain't got no big man. That's what it mean. Dwight Howard on line 7.
Yeah, I think the one thing that like I said I mentioned before, and I was in the chat with Diz and Joel, we were talking, and I like the Fox move, man. I like De'Aaron Fox. Not only did he get to where he wanted to go, and he wanted to play with Wemby, that's gonna be fun, man. And that's fun television, you know. So we talked about, I think last week we were talking about I think I mentioned to you that I said watch them and also watch Houston. But he got to where he wanted to be. So that's just fun television. The one thing that did surprise me, though, I understand that teams may not have wanted to take on that money, but I was thinking for him to get there, there was a possibility that they would have to try to move Chris Paul.
Yeah.
But it didn't work. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. So all of them are there. And we talked about Jimmy's first game. Shoot, De'Aaron Fox had a decent first game.
Yeah, we saw, but my man Greg was at that joint.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he posted a video of the last shot because Charlotte ended up winning. It was a Charlotte game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Charlotte ended up hitting a 3 for the win. But yeah, Fox hit the shot before that to give San Antonio the lead.
I feel you. What up, Liddy? Yeah, I feel you on that, man. I heard some talk from somebody else that I know, so you know, we'll see what happens with that. Only other thing I can think of NBA wise is, man, it's gotta hurt to be somebody like Chris Middleton, though, bro. Like, cause,
bro,
like, nobody asked for that, man. Like, yeah,
Marcus Smart too.
Marcus, you got to feel for these brothers, man. You have to feel for these brothers. Like, what did I do to deserve this?
What did I do to deserve this?
Watching this turning into like no man's land at this point.
And I understand. Don't nobody want to go around that joint.
I never thought we'd get to this point in us being NBA fans that over a long period of time, we're talking 3-4 years or maybe only 5 years, that the Wizards would just be what they are. That's not our squad, but they wrap the street, man. They don't even feel right.
Right. After John Wall, the John Wall issues, and then Bill was by himself and he was stinking, but he was hooping, which ended up giving him leverage to sign another contract, right? He signed another contract, but he ended up with the no trade joint. It's so crazy that he got a no trade clause, yo. That's how crazy it is.
How?
It was LeBron and Bradley Beal. Like, what?
How?
How's this a thing? Doesn't really make sense. But yeah, and then after that, bringing in Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, young guys that's
that's nice move.
Shoot first, ask questions last, and they've been stinking the whole time. They've been stinking, and now Middleton. You see, I don't know if you saw, I had a whole back and forth discussion with a guy that said he was a Bucks fan, trying to downplay Chris Middleton. I'm like, you're a Bucks fan and you're talking crazy like Chris Middleton wasn't leading the squad when Giannis was out, and they were still saying is Milwaukee better without Giannis on the court?
I saw it. I think though, what I've learned, Source, to be honest with you, is because the guy you're talking about, he's been in that group a long time. I went to one of Milwaukee sites. There's another gentleman I know I went to school and went to Bird with, that's a Milwaukee fan. Like his family's originally from there. And I think after listening to them, I kind of get it. I mean, it's not my problem. But because if you look back with Chris Middleton, and he definitely held it down when Giannis was out, I think they're looking at it from a fan's perspective. I think that their issue is They loved him, but he would be out. And I think what he falls into with him is it's not just the amount of games, because we probably could look it up and see how many games he actually missed. But I think to me, it kind of falls to the scenario when you and I were talking about last week about AD, who ironically is hurt again already, is that how many games are you going to see where he doesn't finish? Because buddy of mine that I went to Bird with said he would go home. He put this way, when he makes it a point when he goes to where his family is from, and they're always going to do, if it's football season, then they find a way to get to the Packers. If it's basketball season, they try to find, they always go to see them play the Bucks play. He told me that 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 6. Anyway, he's not having good luck with having Chris Middleton on the court when he visits over the past few years, is what I'm saying. So, I think both of y'all made good points, but if I look at it from a fan perspective, and we look at the amount of games that he's missed, which is not as crazy as some of the other people, but he has missed some time. I think sometimes there's a difference between missing a game or finishing a game. And I think that's what a lot of them are disgruntled with.
Yeah, well,
I don't think anybody disliked him. I think they love Chris Middleton. They just, as fans, they got a little taste of victory, man. They won a championship. Now, they.
Yeah, but that, which furthers the point. They won a championship with Middleton.
Right. I didn't even bring
Giannis was out part of that, and Giannis has been out multiple seasons. Matter of fact, dude was talking about the amount of games that Chris Middleton played. And I went and found that Giannis had played less games than that, like 3 out of 7 seasons. So, no, you
but you know what the argument's going to be though.
Giannis is Giannis.
Yeah.
Well, that's more reason for it to matter less. So,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if we're having this conversation with them. Like, if say they won another title, because. Wasn't it the next year after they won the titles when Middleton got hurt? He got hurt.
He got hurt that season and the next season.
Yeah. So I get it. I'm not sure if I'm riding with it to the extent as some of them are, but then again, I'm not a fan of that team. I like that team, but I'm not a fan of that team. So I didn't have to be in those arenas and taking visits from VA. VA all the way to Milwaukee just for every time I get there, my guy to be on the. I don't know.
He's not playing today, and I'm out here to watch this game.
Indeed, man. I had it on a smaller scale. I didn't, not the fandom that they have of going to watch their team play, but I think I've told you the stories of my luck over the years back in the day of just going to big games, period. Not even when the Knicks were coming. It would be games when, either the Lakers would come down to what was the MCI Center, whatever it used to be in DC.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers would come down twice with the Sixers. And I get there and all of a sudden AI is not playing. I mean, I bought the ticket with the church to go see AI, bro.
Right.
AI down there waving at the fans. He had on fatigue pants, some Tim looking boots, responding to the crowd. They in the huddle. Yeah, he drawing up plays. Some young lady yells out, "I love you, AI." And I love y'all too. And then the arena goes crazy. So I've been there, not so much with my team, but with bigger stars. So I can kind of imagine with some of these people that you love your team, and that's how you feel. It's how you feel. Somebody's just never there when you go, I guess. I don't know.
Could be.
Shout out. Hey, when we get out of here, Cayenne was here the other night.
Yeah, so what was that, Friday or Thursday?
Yeah, I watched it online. My man Daryl was like, "Yo, man, we should go." And, I still ain't really out and about with being around people right now, but
right.
Physically. So I was like, let me think about it. He said, "Well, let me know because I can get you a ticket." But then when I found out that I could watch it online, then that was that. So it was pretty good. Mello was in the house. Mello getting around. Mello was at the house in the house Friday night, and then turned around was in the MSG last night.
Oh yeah.
Yep. He was at
Dang.
the Boston Knicks game last night, sitting front row.
That's how Melo do. That's how Melo do.
Out there traveling or whatever. So shout out to him. But yeah, that's it, man. We got a big day. Big day. Got time to wait, time to tailgates. Folks, do not get drunk and pass out before 6:30. Y'all got 5 hours before this thing goes down. I know some of y'all get out there with them Heinekens. You know. Now you're a professional at drinking. That's one thing. I know some of y'all can go out here and drink early and then take a nap, wake me up in a couple of hours, and y'all good money. If I try that, and I drink me a few beers, and I go take that nap,
it's a wrap.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to enjoy the game I want to enjoy.
I hear you.
I'm gonna be with one eye open, but I'm just not gonna be able to enjoy. I'm gonna sit a little bit closer if I was to do that, closer to the game. So.
If I remember correctly, last year before the game started, I think I posted something, but my daughter had just started a Taylor Swift concert, aka she was playing Taylor Swift blasting in the house. I don't know if that was last year or the year before. Must have been last year.
I think it was last year. That's what I was gonna tell you.
Last year, yeah. I don't know if we're doing that this year. Like I said, people coming through, and I think they like invitation said 5:00. So who knows how early they showing up? But if anything, it's gonna be Kendrick blasting in this joint in preparation for halftime.
It's gonna go down. It's gonna go down. So we're gonna see if everybody. Oh, glad I scrolled through. Can I get out this show with a quick shout out to one of the first ladies of the SBP, Bernice? Happy birthday!
Oh yeah, good
Bernice's birthday today.
Yes,
so we got to definitely give her a shout out there.
Yeah, make sure Bernice, make sure you are cheering for the Eagles today. Yeah, because that's gonna happen.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I ain't mad at you. My man said he only drink 1 or 2, but I smoke a few. My guy. Good luck to the boys out there today for sure.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but
about his comment or about the good luck?
The good luck part. I'm good on that part.
No doubt. And he did post earlier, he did say that Chris Jones said Drake over Kendrick. So yeah,
who said that?
He said that Chris Jones had mentioned Drake over Kendrick.
Who said it?
Liddy.
Oh, okay. Well, Liddy's probably not happy about that. Probably not happy about that though.
So he said whatever, if it means Chris Jones don't get 3 sacks a day, I think he'd be good with it, right? So It's gonna be what it's gonna be. So you got to thank for the people before we peel out.
I ain't got nothing for y'all. I ain't got nothing but Bird Gang. Man, if the Eagles win, if you think it was bad, it wasn't even bad last time. It wasn't even bad. I was just happy. I'm gonna be on y'all head, neck, arm, leg. I mean, whatever you want to say. You can pause all those if you need to. But I'm on y'all back for 6 months minimum. 6 months minimum. Yeah, I'm on y'all back. I'm on y'all back. For real. Don't let the Eagles win. Boy, I'm telling you. I'm done. Yeah, we good, Brian. We good.
Let's go, Mahomes. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Patty. Let's go. All right. So everybody that's checking us out over YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're checking this, man. Appreciate y'all. We are the SBP Sports Talkers, I think, but hip-hop, television, and movies are always in play. So if you want to join the group, come on through. If you ever want to join the show, let us know. I'll be happy to have you on for 5 minutes or the whole show, however you want to do it. But y'all enjoy the Super Bowl. Hope everybody bets hit today, unless there's a bet about Philly winning. But other than that, we out.
Yeah.